So, you ever just get a hair like dangling right in your face and you keep swiping at it, and for some reason you just can't get it off? My hair was nice. I had it nice. It was pretty. And then I couldn't get some hair like right off of my face. And now my dog is lapping in the background and things just aren't going right. And my goodness, sometimes things just don't go right, and then your hair ends up going crazy. But I still I still got a stream to do, and that's just what happens, right? And if I was made for beauty and this was like a beauty pageant, then maybe I would have stopped everything and been like, no, I must fix my hair. And go out with the hairspray or whatever, or get my fucking dog out of here. This isn't radio, though. I'm not getting paid. If I was getting paid for this, I'd surely get the brat out of here. But no, he's gonna be anxiously drinking water. All of this is to say that sometimes when you sit down to do something that you have planned, things just don't go as planned. And your dog ends up doing shit in the background that it's not supposed to be doing. In this case, it was the Seahawks fans, right? The offense, Geno Smith and company, they're out there trying to do their jobs, especially on like 4th and 1, right? It happened twice on 4th and 1, where our offense was cheering and going crazy on 4th and 1, like they were cheering on the offense. And you know what? That's not how football works, guys. That's like football IQ like 101. When your offense is on the field, be quiet so that your offense can hear like the call and stuff. And it wasn't just on 4th and 1, right? It was every down. Our offense had to deal with just noise. And I was looking at the crowd, and there was not like a sea of red or something. It wasn't like Commanders had taken over the field, because it wasn't like the Steelers fans, or suddenly, oh my God, so many 49ers fans had come in. No, we're talking about Commanders fans. What type? There's no such thing as a Commanders fan. Even if there is one, they're in hiding right now. They're not flying out to Washington State to watch Sam Howell play the Seattle Seahawks at home after they had just traded their two. That's not on their schedule, right? They just had to sell their owner. They had to force their owner out. There aren't any Commanders fans right now. They might be rooting for the team, but they're not a fan of the team right now. They're just hanging on for dear life. So, like, for example, at their training camp this last year, our training camp always sells out. Their training camp, nobody showed up except like 2 people, and they sat down the whole time. So, yeah, there aren't Commanders fans, as in the fanatics. They're taking some time off as things are like rotating, or they're being bred right now, and the new Commanders fans are trying to figure out, like, okay, what should our Commanders theme song be? We are Commanders, da 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 da, which was a real thing that was proposed. And if you know what that theme is, write it in the comments below. So the excuse of why are the Seahawks fans cheering loudly when our offense is on the field, you can do it after we make a play, or after the snap when our offense is doing stuff like, but before the snap, Peyton Manning would never allow it. He would be yelling at Bronco fans to shut up. Geno Smith he doesn't have that privilege, right? Unfortunately for Geno Smith, he doesn't have that privilege. But Seahawks fans, they weren't like this last year. I don't think so. They definitely weren't like this last year. In fact, I don't think they were like this earlier in the year. It was like this game. Whoever was in the stands, it was like football 101. It was so loud the entire game. It felt like the Germany game where it was loud all the time. Like it was almost like they were pumping sound into the stadium. And then there's been just like this weird mindset. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce the name of this stream. How far into this? We're 6 minutes into this. This is Tell the Truth Monday. On Tell the Truth Monday, the Seahawks all get together. And they kind of review some tape, but for the most part, they're like, yeah, we were hyped up or we were hyped down from the previous game. So like the 49ers today, if they were coached by Pete Carroll, they just blew the fuck out of the out of the Jaguars. They would have to tell the truth of, yeah, but the Jaguars kind of suck. And Brock Purdy threw a pass to Kittle, and the guy that was covering Kittle tripped, so he was wide open. And, you know, let's tell the truth about some of these plays. We're not all that. Not to say, like, the 49ers didn't earn that win, but to humble yourself. Likewise, last week against the Ravens, we got our asses handed to us. Or even like the 49ers, they got their asses handed to them or lost like 3 games in a row with Brock Purdy. They had to humble themselves and be like, we're still a really good team and we know how our system works. And we need to make sure that we maintain our system and that Brock Purdy will keep doing what Brock Purdy does because our system has functioned. We don't need to change what we're doing because our system continues to function as Brock Purdy grows and progresses. We just need to continue to progress with him. That was their truth. It wasn't, hey, we need to go into this Jaguars game and completely flip the script. So, we don't need to completely change our identity on everything this bye week. That was their truth. So what is our truth on Tell the Truth Monday? Well, I kind of talked a little bit about the fans already. Like, the truth is we need to be smarter fans in the stadium as far as our behaviors in supporting our offense. We used to be famous for being kind of really smart IQ fans in the stadium. And over the years, we've not only gotten quieter, we're still loud, but it's not the same, like, ferocity. And everyone knows why. The people that used to go all the time suddenly can't afford to go all the time because they got priced out of their homes and had to move away. A lot of the new people that came in, it's a different crowd, right? It's just a different crowd. And so, like, a lot of the culture has just kind of been shifted. And so it was weird for me today to see that these fans, they couldn't even fathom the idea that you need to be quiet on offense. Who's educating these fans? Well, it's supposed to be the radio guys. I think it's supposed to be the media, and it's supposed to be like the super fans in the stands, right? But are they listening to those people? I don't know. The super fans being like Captain Seahawk. I'm not putting responsibility on him. I'm just saying, as a cultural piece of it, naturally he would know because he's been there. So by him naturally being a centerpiece that he puts himself on, his behavior would be an example. And so oftentimes you hear Softy on the radio, if he's still doing radio, or whoever, they'll be like, we're playing the Commanders this week, so remember to be extra loud on when the defense is out there and be really quiet on offense, because it, right? This is a normal thing that gets spewed. So is this message was it not delivered for the Commanders game? Because what the hell? And I'm just saying the truth, because, I don't want other fans like the 49ers or the Rams being like, well, you guys are fucking idiots. You don't even know how to be quiet when your offense is on the field. Because we apparently don't know how to be quiet when our offense is on the field. You morons. Yeah, I'm telling the truth. Don't do that. Peyton Manning would never allow it. The audacity that your team would be really loud, your fan base would be really loud when your team's offense was on the field. And then there's almost like this this idea that every single player on the team needs to be 99 overall. There's no grace for any slack on the team. And as soon as a player like Geno Smith makes any sort of mistake, they want him replaced with somebody who's unproven or somebody who hasn't earned the opportunity to play. And we see it all the time with skill position players and offensive line and defensive linemen, right? People were trying to get rid of Jones, and Jones has been great. People were saying he was a terrible signing. He's been great all year. They moved him to end, and he still was freaking great at end. I think he got a sack because he's teeing off with Williams. People said the Witherspoon pick was going to be terrible. I'm like, you haven't even seen a play. They said Adams was going to be terrible. We'll get to that. People were like that. Here's another thing. That 2020 class. I think it was the 2020 class. It was the COVID class where we only had 3 picks. Forsyth, Eskridge, and Trey Brown. Who's getting a lot of snaps this year? Trey Brown. And Forsyth was getting a lot of snaps until fucking Jason Peters started getting all the pass snaps. They're still rotating the two of them. It's interesting, but they're still just doing that. We'll see what happens when Abe Lucas gets back. I just feel like our fans don't there's some really, really, really smart fans. And then there's a bunch of fans that don't know what they're looking at. They have no idea what's going on. Absolutely no idea what's going on. But now they can get tickets. And now that they're there, they don't even know how to behave. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too judgmental. Get me some tickets. I'll snap some people straight. That's coming from a trans person. Okay, let's get to Tell the Truth Monday. Not about fans, but let's talk about the actual team. But the fans are part of the team. When they're in the stadium affecting the plays, yes, they are a part of the team, and you need to think about that. But let's talk about the players and the staff and all the other stuff. So here we go. The Seahawks defense is 8th by DVOA against deep passes. DVOA, I don't remember. Defensive variable overall. What does that actually stand for? Defensive adjusted value overall. So it just basically it balances everybody's plays, as in every single player, every single. Let me just get. I'm bad at explaining specific things, and I don't want to define DVOA inappropriately to somebody who's never heard of it. Where is the actual definition? Dorks value only analytics. That's so good. Oh, I love that. That's courtesy of AcmePackingCompany.com. It's Green Bay Packers. Oh, come on, ad. Get out of my face. Okay, DVOA breaks down the entire season play by play, comparing success on each play to the league average based on the number of variables, including down, distance, location, on-field, current score gap, quarter, and opponent quality. Let's try that again. So the DVOA breaks down the entire season play-by-play. That's every team. That's every player. That's everything. Comparing the success on every play. Okay, so if Walker got a 2-yard rush, or if he got a negative 2-yard rush, to the league average based on a number of variables. For instance, the average rush is like 4 yards on a gap ISO, and he got a 2-yard rush. And so variables include down, distance, location on the field, current score gap, quarter. So if he's running in the first quarter, the defense and the offense is going to have more energy than, say, he's running in overtime, right? So they're going to have a different grade. Because he might then be able to run more. It also might be like, how many times has he run? If he's only ran 3 times in that game, the DVOA might be a little bit different. That's EPA. Sorry, that's a different thing. But DVOA breaks down the entire season play by play, comparing the success. So it's about the specific plays that are called, not the specific player, but just you get the idea. Okay, so getting back to the field goals post. The Seahawks defense ranks 8th in DVOA against deep passes, which means that on passes where teams are trying to go deep against us, they're not getting beat. Except for that amazing, Sam Howell pass to Robinson or whoever that was. I still didn't look against Witherspoon and Brooks. It was awesome. Here's the problem, and this is why I wanted to talk about Adams. They're ranked 29th against defined short throws, which I would say are probably 5 yards or less. And there's 30th in short middle, which I would say is probably 5 to 8 yards. Yeah, probably. The problem is, so it looks like this has been a problem for 4 years. So it's not just an Adams thing. The problem is, with Adams specifically, as we discussed, and this is connecting to Tell the Truth Monday, and the idea of how they needed to adapt to coaching in the middle. And this is a theme that has been going on for years. And this is something that I discussed in depth. So I think the best way to approach this problem was best illustrated with the way that Adams adjusted in the game. So bear with me as I get into this. I've been talking about his shoelace tackling. Oh my God, she's talking about the shoelace tackling again. It's a matter of technique, and it's a matter of mindset, and it's a matter of understanding what's going on the field. And so when he's going for the shoelaces, he's putting himself in a bad position, and even if he makes the grab, he's going to get dragged, which is going to drag extra yards, right? He needs to get in position to either mime up and make a wall, or he needs to make a tackle by hawk tackling. And if he literally feels like he physically can't tackle this dude that way, he needs to get around the thighs like he's a potato sack and try to spin him down. It's possible to tackle a human being by the legs, by the thighs. And we saw in the second half, or maybe it was later in the second quarter, that Adams made a tackle in the thighs. He also walled up a guy, which allowed the rest of the defense, who's always rushing to the ball, to catch up to him. And that stopped the passes where he was going for the shoestring tackles from being, oh no, I was about to make a negative yard play, into now it turned into an explosive, into, oh, now it's like a 2-yard play, or like a 4-yard play. Which, sure, they're still making those catches, but we've all seen it for years. These guys are like whiffing in the backfield, and they're over pursuing, or those perfect blocks are setting them up, and it hasn't just been Adams, it's been Brooks, and it's been it was before that it was Michael Kendricks, and it's been Cody Barton, and it's been Jackson who was out on the corner, and it was Love earlier this season, and before that it was Neal was having some problems, and there's always been somebody whose job is to go tackle somebody, and well, the tackling is not quite there. And I've always said, and you haven't heard it here, but I've posted it on Twitter, that it typically takes our team about 6 weeks until, sorry, I got some tinnitus issues. It takes like 6 weeks for our team to decide to start tackling correctly. And I'm being condescending there. It takes them about 6 weeks to get up to speed on tackling and get into rhythm and things like that. Where the tackling of old, the hawk tackling, right? The thing that made, the term hawk tackling famous under Pete Carroll, they used to just show up and be ready to go. So my question is, what changed? Because the short throws, you're supposed to be able to shore those up. Those aren't why are they able to get YAC on us, yards after the catch, YAC? Why are they able to get so much? Of course they were able to stop deep passes. Pete Carroll's always able to stop deep passes, and except for when he had Tector Thompson and Hill out there and all the fun that we had to deal with then. But right now we have so much great talent, but we still have this problem where we can't stop the shorts. Well, yeah, we can't stop the shorts because we still have a tackling pursuit angle problem. And if you don't have good pursuit angles, of course you can't tackle. And if you refuse to tackle with the proper techniques, aka you're going for shoestrings, or you're trying to smear a guy into the ground or something, then, or you're going only for the ball and you're not taking the time to tackle because, yeah, let's just take this guy to the ground, then of course you're going to be 29th or 30th in the short. But it brings up the question again, what changed? So on Tell the Truth Monday, when it comes to DVOA on the defense in this area, this isn't a Hurt problem. This isn't a Ken Norton Jr. problem. This is a Pete Carroll question. What type of coaching happened during the middle of the Commanders game that got Adams to start doing the wrap up tackling that can start being an everyday experience from here on out for years, where these guys are just ready to tackle and have the right mindset for pursuit angles, because that was lost sometime along the way. At one point during camps, your players stopped learning how to reach proper pursuit angles and to tackle properly. And it started losing you games in the early part of seasons, and then you guys started getting better, but you still whiff on like very simple things throughout the season. And I talk all the time about how you have the spear, right? The spear being the space between where the player is and where they need to make the play. And the tip is the point where they need to make the play. And so if you have a defender getting to where they are, but their pursuit angle is wrong, it's like they're always missing. They're always missing. So they'll never have an opportunity to strike. And then when they do get there, it's like the tip of the spear is blunted and just glancing off. You see guys bouncing off of defenders, offensive guys all the time because they don't use proper tackling techniques. When did that happen? Even little Earl Thomas knew how to swing his body weight around and throw guys down. And finally, we got to see Jamal Adams do it when even then he was like holding on to this guy for dear life, but he stopped the guy, right? What happened to our tackling? Bobby's an amazing tackler. KJ was an amazing tackler, but I don't think he's interested in playing anymore. I mean, Brooks is a good tackler, but sometimes his pursuit angles, he's having an amazing year. But sometimes, he whiffs in the backfield. I don't know. I really feel like it's a problem with our defensive backs where we're just not hawk tackling properly. And we need to really do a better job at that. I guess I can move on to the offense now. Which do you want me to talk about first? Do you want me to talk about my favorite part? Or do you want me to talk about how it's a mirror image of the topic that we just discussed? I guess that is my favorite part. Shit. Okay, we're going to talk about this stat I found from Next Gen Stats. The Seahawks gained 258 yards after the catch on Sunday. That's the second most yards after the catch in a game of any offense this season. I don't know what the first one is. They didn't post it. Yeah. So we talk about how the 49ers just kind of dump the ball to people and then they take off down the field and Brock Purdy's not doing anything. He's just giving the ball to people and then that's what I talk about all the time. Let your playmakers have opportunities to make plays. Just get the ball over there, make a play, get the ball over there. You have an opportunity. And did you end up getting 258 yards? Yak. And sure, like there's the 66-yard run or whatever that was from Kenneth. But my goodness, when you look at these charts, which I posted the link in the description below, let's just take a put. They're all like behind the line of scrimmage, or there was this wonderful corner route, which you know how much I love my corner routes. Just wonderful. It's all these swing passes to the right side. All these like slants. Oh, like deep. What is that? Like a dig? Oh, that's what that was. That last play DK had at the end of the game was a dig. The fucking Kenneth Walker chart is amazing. I guess I could show you guys these charts. Hold on. I have the fucking technology. Which one is it? It's this one. Yeah. Yeah, see? Good Lord. Okay. You should be able to see it. This is Tyler Lockett's route tree. Look at all these like little dumps so that he could just get out to the flat, get moving. Just wonderful. And then you could see with DK Metcalf, see that dig I'm talking about? Digs in. And I was talking about it over the week, how I wanted slants, which it looks like we did get some slants here. And a little bit of motion. But I wanted some digs too. And he just did like a dig and then just fucking bolted for it, right? It was not a clutch dig. He just whoop. Some deep crossers. Yeah. And that was nice. And this is that Kenneth Walker route I was talking about. It's just hilarious to look at. It's so funny. Like, what happened on this play? Just, whoop, is gone. Yeah, and look at these screens. You're telling me that the Seahawks don't have a screen game? Got these, and these are like his only catches. He has a drag route, which I told you is going to have some drag routes. And then he's got his little screens, which I did not tell you he was going to have. I'm surprised that they're continuing to do that. No, I'm surprised how effective they've been. But they have been doing those. I don't remember this catch at all. Geno must have been a boot play. By the way that route is, it must have been a boot. But yeah, I loved these charts, so I had to share. But this is just the same thing where it's like, our DVOA was so bad on short throws. If this was us on defense, it's the same thing. Geno is beating them with these short throws. See? Can you imagine if our offense was playing our defense with this strategy? It would have been really painful. All these Tyler Lockett little dump offs there. This Kenneth Walker dump off. All these Jackson Smith and Jigba dump offs. And then, yeah, we don't really have like a lot of quote unquote short DK Metcalf passes because of all the short stuff that's going down right here. And then you got all the little screen stuff that's down here for Njigba because DK's blocking for him. So he'd be blocking Woolen. And yeah, like if we can't handle short passes, our offense would have romped our defense, on Sunday if they had to play each other. It would have been really fascinating. And this is what I'm talking about, like the mirroring of the way that the game works. Like, I wonder, because their team was planning on coming in and doing short passes and doing screens, and then we come in doing a bunch of short passes and doing screens. Have we been doing that all year and I just haven't been paying attention? Or did we just adapt to that because these long passes weren't working? I'm going to watch that this week. But tell the truth is these short passes to create YAC really worked well in combination with our run game and created opportunities for our wide receivers to make plays. They're our best skill players. Let our skill players make plays. I got one more thing for you. This is about Zach Charbonnet. This is the EPA chart. Estimated points per attempt. Basically, if if when you run a dive ISO up the A gap and the league average is 4 yards an attempt and you get 2 yards, then you have a worse EPA, estimated points per attempt. You've made less points estimated than the league average, because the points you're supposed to make is, let's say if the league average is 4, that's equal to 1 point. So you make, if you do 2, then you make like 0.75 points. I don't know EPA off the top of my head. I don't know how it works mathematically, but that's kind of the idea, is there's like a set point for one, and then that's like, yeah, this is a successful run, and then everything else is down. I don't, hold it to the highest degree, but here we are using it as a tool. It is a useful tool, and I think it is actually one of the better tools, just like DVOA. So here we are. Run success rate and EPA, minimum 35 attempts. Estimated EPA per rush is up. Rush success rate is to the right. So the more successful you are per rush is to the right, and the more points per rush is up there. So pretty self-explanatory. You want to be as far to the right as possible, and then the more points that the run is worth. Because, for example, let's say it's a run on 3rd and 40. So you pick up 12 yards. That sounds like a pretty successful run to me, right? It's a useless run. So it's going to get less points on EPA because it's not a run that's going to increase your point. It's not a run that's going to increase your offense's opportunity to put points on the board. So it would be scored lower on the EPA per rush run than that 4-yard rush on an ISO on first down, because that 4-yard rush has a higher opportunity of moving you closer towards the chains and a touchdown on first down in like the first quarter, but if it's like 45 seconds in the fourth quarter, maybe not so much. So it all depends as far as my understanding of EPA. I don't know. I don't mess with EPA. I'm just trying to get you up to speed with my elementary understanding of EPA. So here we are. Oh my God, I wanted to zoom in on this and it did not let me. It just made everything awful. I gotta squint at this. Hold on. Holy shit. Here's the problem, child. That's a chain from the Dolphins, and then he got hurt. Holy cow. Yeah, every time he rushes, it's almost as effective as a passing play, which is almost always going to give you a +1, a positive EPA. Notice people who like EPA, they don't like rushing plays because they're always going to be a negative EPA point because they score them below 1. Reason being that they're never going to be as effective as a passing play. So why even call them? Well, it's because they don't understand, or they don't see the point anymore of the process of running the ball, setting up play action, choosing gaps, and all of that stuff. In their mind, well, if I know that if a passing play is going to get me 8 yards, I'm just going to call a passing play that's going to get me 8 yards. Fuck running the ball. I'm just going to put more passing out there. I'm going to throw a flanker over there, and I'm going to throw a flat over there and have him run a post, and then yeah, everything's good. I'm just going to throw the ball. Whatever. I'm just going to throw the ball like 60 times. I don't care. And that's just kind of how they roll. Because every time they complete a pass, it's going to be like a positive EPA for them. So they just don't care about running. Because here's a chain, and then here's the rest of the pack. And these are good runners up here. These are the good runners. And he's a freak of nature who's hurt and not playing. He's like an anomaly. You ever do that when you went to school? They're like, okay, you start with this chart. First thing you do is you remove the anomaly. And you find the consistent ones. Well, here's the consistent ones. And I want you to look at who's leading the consistent ones. Well, I can't see it either because for some reason it won't let me zoom. But right there, itty bitty little baby spot is that's Zach Charbonnet ahead of Mozart, who's also on the Dolphins. So Zach Charbonnet is probably the most effective, except for this dude McLaughlin. Who is McLaughlin? Chase McLaughlin. What? Denver Broncos. Jaley McLaughlin. So he's up there. So he's the one who's leading the pack right now. It looks like in EPA per rush. But he's not as successful as Charbonnet. But he's more explosive. But otherwise, it's like Charbonnet and Mozart are the leaders in success rate and EPA rate. And when you look at Walker, he is all the way down here in EPA rush and success rate. Tell the truth Monday. Zach Charbonnet needs to be our leading back. He needs to be getting those starting reps. Or unless they're using him as the finisher, which is explaining all of this. But this is crazy, right? Because he's playing out of his damn mind, and I know he's getting about the same amount of snaps as Kenneth, but he's not getting as many rushes, I don't think, and he needs to be. They both need to be getting at least 15. We need to be rushing at least 30 times a game. And there's no excuse. And I would like to see him get closer to 20. Because he's that dude. And this chart just kind of shows it. If he's like Mozart, fucking look out. he's going to be a type of guy that's going to get you 200 yards and a couple touchdowns. Just not because of the explosiveness like Walker, but because he's just going to play really sound football and get to where he needs to be, and then make that guy regret playing football. Won't that be fun? Let's see. Okay. Tell the Truth Monday. I think I covered all that stuff. I think that was grand. Oh, Derek Young. He played, I think, 2 snaps, and then he got injured. So, I think he's going on IR again. And then Kai Blue Kelly ended up going to the Packers. He was that corner we ended up having to trade for, I think, from the Ravens. I think we traded for him. And my thing is, did we need Derek Young to come back early? Did he have to come to play this game? Or was it really just an accident and he got hurt after 2 snaps? I don't like the idea of a player, not quite being healthy, getting pulled off the IR, going out there playing 2 snaps, and then getting put back on IR. And then I don't like the idea of a player like Kaibu Kelly having to go through waivers, and now, since August, having to move to a third city, Baltimore, Seattle, and now Green Bay. I know it's a part of the business. I just, it feels like, if Young wasn't ready to go, you could have just kept him on IR for the whole year. And maybe they were hoping to save him and get him healthy, but then you should have just kept him inactive. And, then you could have had Kenny McIntosh or somebody that could play special teams out there if that's what you wanted him out there for special teams. So it felt like a weird choice. It just felt like a weird GM choice. That's all. And for Tell the Truth Monday, I was praising the pickup of that Rams quarterback whose name is eluding me right now. But for Tell the Truth Monday, I also want to bring up that I don't think it was a wise decision to bring Derek Young back, because not only did you lose him to injury when he probably wasn't ready to go, but you also lost the investment of Kai Blue Kelly to the Packers via waivers. Maybe you can get him back later, but I don't think it was worth the process, considering you didn't need a 5th wide receiver. Hell, you didn't need a 6th wide receiver. I don't think that was the problem you were having on offense. I don't think Derek Young is that dude. And if he really is that dude, he probably shouldn't have been active on game day if you were that uncertain. So and if it truly was just a freak accident and he got hurt after 2 snaps, then tell the truth. Derek Young, were you healthy and didn't tell the coaches that you weren't actually ready to go? I don't know. It's a bummer. It just feels like a bummer for two guys. For Derek, because now he doesn't get to play. And then it's a bummer for Kaibu Kelly. And I don't know how long. Is Derek going on IR? I don't know. It feels like one of those things where it's up in the air. Let me check. Let me check. If I could learn how to spell his name. I don't see anything. Maybe he'll come back another time. I'd like to see that man rotate into fullback if he was healthy. Sorry, Nick Ballore. Not saying that you can't play fullback. I'm just saying, if we're doing orbitals and things like that, Derek Young is, I think, is capable of doing that. Is that something that we saw him doing last year? It'd be fun. I don't know. I never understand the point of having a skill player only play 2 snaps and then have them get hurt. If they're not ready to go, they're not ready to go. You know what was fun? Speaking of tell the truth, watching a 41-year-old tackle just fucking kick ass for an entire game. Jason Peters allowed 1 pressure on, what was it, like 35 snaps? It was awesome. And yeah, he's still trading snaps with Forsyth, but it's pretty obvious that he's the better guy just from experience, and he has the ability to just kind of shut guys down. I don't know if either of them can run block right now, like with real dominance. And if Abe Lucas is coming back this week, I don't want him playing the Rams. I want him suited up, but I don't want him playing the Rams. I want him healthy and rested, and I want him ready to go versus the 49ers. Because, again, just one of those injuries he's dealt with for a long time. I don't want him to re-aggravate it until he's physically had a week to go through all of the reps and stuff. And it's a good opportunity for somebody like Jason Peters to go up against some talent like Aaron Donald, and a good opportunity like Forsyth and company to go up against Aaron Donald, right? And I want to see how those guys can handle it before Lucas comes in. Because if Lucas ends up not being ready to go versus the 49ers, I want them to have been able to stand up to a good pass rusher. And I want that energy and that synergy to not have been broken in the offensive front. And I think that's all I have for today. I I appreciate you guys for watching this and for dealing with me as I'm like, I'm gonna check the note, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna bitch about the fans. We gotta do better, right? I just want us to be cool, guys. I just want us to be cool. Like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Maybe even tell your friends. Your gay friends. Your gay friends would probably like this. I'll catch you guys around.